Yash. So let's end this whole division, separation thing right at the beginning. You know, duality, non-duality. How is it the same? We're not just using another concept to try to debunk another concept, or maybe we are. The pure, whatever you want to call it. Can't call it anything. I mean, you can, but like, okay. In that space, the concepts of non-duality and duality arise. You can say the pure absolute isn't saying anything about non-duality or duality. The concept of non-duality has to come only because there's a sense of duality. There's a sense of duality, so then there's a sense of non-duality. This is just what it is. Non-duality means when you stop identifying with any form, that includes thoughts, desires, sensations, everything. When the consciousness keeps turning back on itself, its formless nature, you can say that's duality. But there's non-duality. But there's awareness of that. Something's aware of this formless, spacious, yet living presence. That's non-duality. What's aware of that? Must be something even higher. Okay, we're using words. Higher, deeper, beyond the sense of even formlessness. Otherwise, formlessness we wouldn't be aware of it. You see? So that's not non-dual. That's like I don't know. You tell me what it is. I don't have a word for it. So you got this formless nature that we're going to call non-duality, and then within that, all these forms take place. The camera and the ocean, the so-called sense of me and everything. How could non-duality be recognized if this form wasn't recognized? Eckhart Tolle said something once. He says, if there's only blue, there'd be no blue. So, the pure absolute consciousness creates the concepts of non-duality and duality. So then you can recognize both. But you can only recognize both because you're beyond both. So if there's some agenda or some sense of like righteousness that one feels when they're like, I got it. I got the non-duality now. I'm non-dual, nothing exists, everything's apparent. Yeah, I'm awake. I need to make videos, like right now. I'll do consultations, I'll get rich, I'll get the girls. So if there's something like that going on, just recognize it. Because it's like, we got to do that too a little bit, you know? I did that when I was in my early 20s. Mid-20s, maybe later 20s, forget. I was in Bali, I was teaching yoga, and I wrote a book, and I'm wearing white, and I'm doing what I'm doing, you know, and there was a spiritual ego behind it, and I like the attention, I like people like, wow, you see, I liked all that, but I couldn't catch it at the time. That's the thing. See, when you're doing that, you can't catch it. You'll deny it, full on. I would deny it. Even I had a brother sitting next to me once. I was in some group, and we were sharing, and he was kind of making fun of me a little bit. He's like, he's doing all that. I wish I could see him today somewhere. And I'm like, poor brother. He just doesn't know spirituality when he sees it. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. When we're stuck in ego, we don't know it. You know it later, and you look back in retrospect, and then you can laugh about it. See, it's cool. So I'm not a hypocrite. Like, I've done all this stuff that I make fun of. I've done the same thing. So I'm not making fun of anybody personally. I'm making fun of the whole process of evolution and how the ego acts and all that. That's what I'm making fun of, because it's funny as hell, isn't it? Like, it's just funny. The spiritual circles and stuff, and the it's just funny. And girls and guys, and let's do tantra, and it's a spiritual, intimate thing, and really they're horny as hell. I just think it's funny. I did all that. I used to talk to the girls about tantra and stuff, and want to just, show how much I know. Really, I just want to have sex. Just didn't know it, couldn't admit it. So it's nice to be free of all that today. At the same time, if there's some dormant karma or tendency that's still lurking in this causal body in a certain situation, brings it out somehow, I'm cool with that. See? Because we don't know. When it gets right down to it, how do we know what's going to happen, what's not going to happen if we're so-called purified or not? We don't know. You see, you stay humble. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. You stay humble, and that's what you do. You say, look, I don't know anything. I know I feel good right now, and I feel pretty pure right now, and I check my motives all the time, and I'm doing introspection because that's just what I do. But, there's space. If there's some defective character or shortcoming that pops up, if I overreact, if I get mad in an excessive way, whatever, there's space. And then I'll correct it as best I can. So it's not arrogance. It's not like, yeah, I don't care, nothing, whatever, No, it's like, we don't know, man. This virtual human ship is, it's such a trip. Like, it's so complex. Like, who can navigate this thing perfectly? Nobody. There's no master that can do it either. Nothing. At some point, somehow the consciousness through evolution, you just accept everything. You're like, okay. And you don't even do that totally ever. That's an ongoing thing also. You can keep accepting, surrendering more and more and more. So that's what we do. So anything else? Non-duality and duality. It's good to see, this is what a spiritual practice does. It gives awareness of our non-dual nature or essence. That's important. And of course, when you start to come into awareness of that, you're gonna feel good. That's natural. You're like, that's the euphoria that comes from waking up. So I'm not trying to discount that at all. Non-dual state, it has less. See these waves? So if you're close to the shore, it's less wavy. But some days, these waves, man, you better be careful. You see, they can swallow you up. So what happens is every time I make videos, like, people look at me and stuff. They're like, they can't help it. They're like, why is he doing that? So why did I say that? If I'm spiritual, it shouldn't bother me. I'm processing it. I'm intimate with you. I'm sharing what's going on. That dissolves any because I have an emotional body, and I'm sensitive, so I pick stuff up, I notice stuff, so then I share it, and then it dissolves. That's why I'm sharing it. Maybe somebody say, you're insecure. What was I talking about? Tidal waves. So our non-dual state, it doesn't have tidal waves. The ripples are much less, if at all. Sometimes not at all. That's a more peaceful state to be in. You see, this is the benefit of realizing our non-dual nature. Because the dualistic world, with all the colors and shapes and forms and just extreme opposite polarities, that's more like a turbulent waves or ocean. So of course, this is why God made the evolution like this. We start to wake up. This is what awakening means. We start to become more aware of our non-dual nature. At the same, and then as that progresses, as we get more aware, okay, it's like this, 3 stages, right? A lot of people only aware of their dualistic nature. They think they're the body, they think you're the body, etc. Next stage, you start to become aware of this pure presence, this consciousness in which the dualistic nature happens inside. Last stage, you start to something, I don't even know how to say it, something realizes like, whoa, the dual and non-dual nature is also taking place in a kind of something, nothing that I don't even know what it is. That's the most I can say about that. All right, have a good day.